junkguysdfw.net in the house, guys, in the house. So I want to introduce to y'all Carson Alexander, who is Junk Guys Nashville, and the newcomer, the rookie. We popped this cherry earlier this week, and Orson is owner of DFW Clutterbuster. So go ahead and introduce yourself, because I think people already know Carson. Orson, so go ahead.
Yeah, of course. Hey guys, how are you? My name is Orson, owner of DFW Clutterbusters. I'm probably going to change that name. I will say at the summit, I kind of got a lot of new ideas, and so I'm going to rebrand. But I've been working with Ricardo for the past week, learning as much as I can. It's been going great. And yeah, based out of Dallas, Texas.
Yeah, definitely. You live right around the corner from my warehouse, dude. And what's up with that cat? That cat behind you? Check him out.
Oh yeah, there's Betsy. She's my co-star, my little secretary here for the jobs. I will say it's really funny actually that you mentioned that, because I would walk my dog in that neighborhood every single day for like the past year. I would walk around and I would always pass your warehouse, kind of wonder, what the hell is that junkyard? Like, what is that place?
And you saw the logo and everything.
Yeah, I never paid attention to the logo, but I did see it. The most that I was kind of like, what is that place, is when you were doing your haunted house, because it honestly looked badass. It looked really, really cool. And so I would walk by there every day, and look at us now, a year later.
Yeah, isn't that crazy? That's funny, dude. We also have Carson Alexander. Go ahead and introduce yourself, Carson, if you want to.
What's up, guys? It's Carson with Junk Guys Nashville. Yeah, we're just chatting here with Orson. Actually met Orson at the Dallas Junk Removal Summit event. So we've actually met in person, even though I'm not in Dallas. So yeah.
Very, very cool. Which was a total surprise that I could get along with Orson, because you look at Orson, you wouldn't think I get along with him. And honestly, dude, we kick these videos off really, really smooth. I tell him, what's funny is, Carson, get this. So Orson will be in the car with me, and I'm like, here's what we're gonna do. And he's like, huh? And I'm like, all right, just act like you can't talk, like you're deaf, and I'll take over. And he's like, okay. And boom, bro, we're in the role. Remember with that customer, I said, don't talk, you're deaf, and you started moving the refrigerator. So he's like, huh? I said, you can't talk, you're deaf. And he's like, it's stupid shit. Just doing some stupid shit. But so I want to do this live video. First of all, I wanted to introduce Orson. I did a good video about you, Orson, earlier, about the communication skills that we have and how we act. And then I told Carson about it this morning. Carson, you made a good point about it, and I want to go back to this. I want to say something, and then I'm gonna let you chime in about this, Carson, because we're gonna look at your Hoarder video too in just a second. But when I was one of the things, and I'll just rephrase what I said in the video, one of the things is that when we're doing these jobs, Orson wants to treat these customers so good. He's like giving them customer service and, oh, guys, how are y'all doing? Hey, look, you got a nice dog, blah, 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 this and that. And I see a communication barrier. Yes, we're supposed to give them good customer service, but also we are a junk removal service. We're moving from job to job. And of course, I think you learned that, Orson, that how we move fast from job to job. We have to move fast. We don't have time to chit chat and talk shit and stuff. And you'll see in some videos that I will talk to people. It's a day that it's slow for me. But sometimes we're just moving so fast. And it was an opening eye experience to me to see Orson talking to customers and the way I talk to customers, two different languages. You know what I mean? It's just totally different. And Carson, I told you your input about this, and you said a good point. Sometimes I'm not chasing the money like Orson would. And kind of explain that, Carson, like you said that.
Yeah, so whenever you're a new junk removal business, me and Orson are in a similar boat. Orson's a little bit more new. I'm hitting my 1 year. But, whenever you're new in the business, you don't have as many jobs to have the ability to be quicker on the phone and close the deal, move and keep it moving. So whenever you have 1 or 2 or 3 jobs on the schedule, you go to the customer and you end up talking to them more than you're actually doing the junk removal job. And so it's just one of those things where the busier you get, you should be putting yourself in a position to be more efficient. And, for a $45 refrigerator removal, they're not asking for a date. right? They're trying to get, they're just trying to get the pitch on. And so, but you know, again, it is one of those things where whenever you're newer and that's your only job for the day is to go pick up a refrigerator, you may try to, you know, you're just trying to talk about your business with the customer sometimes, you know, but whenever you have 10 jobs on the schedule, you definitely, you know, should be flying through them.
Yeah, and last night, Orson had a job that I gave him. What was it? A $400 job, Orson, right?
Yeah, it was a nice little storage unit clean out.
Yeah, and I knew these girls were going to take advantage. I just had a feeling that they were going to try to grab more from you for some reason. And
they were. Yeah, 1,000%. Yeah,
they were going to try to hustle you. And I kind of raised my voice. I said, do not get hustled by these girls. Do not let them talk to you the way. Do not do this. I said, if you got to walk away, Orson, if you have to walk away from the job, walk away from it. You know what I mean? Yeah. What's up, Robert? And I told you, do not let that happen to you. Walk away. We'll get jobs. We'll live to another day. And tell them exactly what happened, Orson, with that job.
I wish you had been there, dude. I wish you had been there because you would be so fucking proud of me, bro. You would have been so proud. These girls, I show up, they were trying to walk all over me. As soon as I got there, they were like, oh, it's just you're blah, 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 and all this stuff. That first of all, the call was for a couple things in a storage unit that might fill up a trailer. I open up that storage unit, it's a hoarder situation, you know. They got at least 3 loads over there. And so they were like, all right, well, you're gonna start. And I'm like, well, real quick, you know. We had a little bit of miscommunication. This isn't 1 load. This isn't what you got us here for. This is about 3 loads, so it's going to be $1,200. And they were like, whoa. They were like, whoa. You said 400 over the phone. I'm like, no, man, we said 400 per load. And they were like, well, blah, 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 this, that. And then just kept talking. So I was like, all right, well, let's reschedule for tomorrow. You know, just call Ricardo, whatever. They're like, well, could you take this stuff? Like, if you just like, I'll pick and take this. But I'm like, no, we're not doing that. I drew them like a rectangle. I'm gonna take this area, and I'm gonna be out of here. And they're like, so we can't pick choose. I'm like, nope, we sure can't. And we just couldn't come to an agreement. So I was like, all right. I shook their hands. I was like, y'all have a very nice evening. If you need us, call us. I was walking to my truck. When I opened the door to my truck, I got a phone call from them. They're like, hey, we really need you. And I'm like, all right. But I just know that like we have 2 different opinions on how this is gonna go. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna give you an hour and a half of my time, and you're gonna give me $400. Easy. And they were like, that's I put it out there like night and day. I will be here till this was late, by the way. This was I got there right before 6, and it was 6:15 when we were talking. I told her I will be here till 8, and you're gonna give me $400. And she was like, well, can you be here till 8:15? I was like, I will be here till 8, and you're going to give me $400. And that's
you made
whatever we put on the trailer.
You made a prepaid.
Yeah, that's another thing, because these ladies I knew that this was not going to go how they wanted. And I wasn't going to have any crap after doing an hour and a half's work. They wouldn't want to pay me. So I told her straight up, you got to pay me up front. And she said, no way. And I told her, all right, well, I will see you next time. She was like, oh, hold on. But how do I know you're going to work? I'm like, do I look like someone who's not going to work? I'm like, look at me. I was all fucking dirty from working all day. I'm like, look, cash out me $400. We're going to start. She was like, well, are you going to stay for a full 2 hours? I was like, no, I'm going to stay here until 8. And the more we're talking, the less time I got. So hurry up.
There you
go. She
go.
paid the $400, bro. I filled up their trailer. They were so happy that they actually called us about an hour ago to do another load.
Oh, yeah. They called you today. They actually called you today, which is Sunday, to do the job. Mm-hmm. So, Carson, how do you think he handled the job of walking away from the job and communicating with these ladies, just with the story that I told you this morning and how he's repeating it to us right now?
Yeah, I definitely think, whenever you're a new business, you don't have the luxury to quickly walk away from the job. That may be, and in the junk removal business, and from what I understand about what Orson is learning, is that you may have 5 jobs one day and the next have none. So you have to make sure that throughout the whole day, even if it's at 7 at night, you may have to take that 5th job and not walk away, because tomorrow you may not have any jobs. And so it's one of those things where I think the hesitancy in walking away is really important. But at the same time, too, there are certain red flags that customers will give that you just got to be able to pick up on and know, hey, you know, this just, I may need to get, that's weird. I may need to set this up a certain way. And to protect myself from maybe not getting payment, or maybe set myself up to, you know, get screwed over because they start adding things. You know, there's so many red flags in this business. So being able to catch them quick is important.
Yeah.
Maybe you have to be
real
talking.
quick,
Maybe you have to be talking when you do that, and you can get it. Hey, so guys, hey guys.
real quick, Carson. So you mentioned something. You were like about payment. These girls wanted to pay with a credit card, and that they wanted to pay with the card, and I wouldn't do it. Because I knew that it wasn't going to be a straight shot job. Would you, like, in a situation like that, when you show up, the customer's obviously not telling the truth and they're kind of hesitant about doing the work, how do you make sure you get paid? Would you have them prepay? Because when I told Ricardo that they prepaid, I felt like his jaw dropped. He couldn't believe it. I thought he was going to get mad at me. He was so surprised.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, you know, like with me, we have the wrap box truck, we have uniforms, and so they know that we're coming as a legit business that's known in the community. So we have a reputation in the community that we have to uphold. And so if we're known for screwing over customers, we wouldn't have a business. And so if I ever get any sort of indication, red flag, or inkling that a customer may not, you know, pay me, or they've said something that you know, gets me concerned, I wouldn't mind taking payment up front. And guess what? If they don't want to pay up front, and of course, depending on the job size, right? Like this job, I mean, from the video that Ricardo showed me, I mean, it looked like a $1,500 job at minimum. And so, yeah, you know, it always just, it's such a scenario. You just got to feel the customer out.
Yeah, definitely.
You can always take a deposit too. You can always take a deposit and get paid every time you take a load. And the cool thing about junk removal, and what I like about it, you know, and Orson, you were saying that you used to be in construction. I was in construction for some time too. And the problem with construction is you're on net 30 and you have to send in pay applications in order to get paid. And so you may send in a pay application and not get paid just because of the way that the billing works. Even though it's net 30, you may not get paid for 90 days. But with this, it's like, hey, I just picked up the junk. It's sitting in my truck right now. If you don't pay me, guess what's about to happen to all this stuff in my truck? It's about to get put right back where I unloaded it from. And so you can always take payments after every load. I think that can be a smart way of going around it, which is what you're doing.
Yeah, in my honest opinion, Orson, I think I would have talked to the ladies, and I wasn't there. So I would have talked to the ladies, and you know how I communicate with ladies and stuff when I'm out there. I think something else, a different outcome. Of course, I would not got payment up front, but I would have reassured that these bitches were going to pay me. You know what I mean? Period. They were going to pay me, you know? And I want to make a side note. After this job, there was a controversial job that me and you did with the piano scratching the floor. And
another payment fiasco.
Yeah. And I kind of want to just elaborate with that one really quick, but you saw we damaged the floor. We did. And I did a live video with you about this, but tell them how bad. Okay, so here I'm going to set it up, Orson, and then you just take it from there and tell them how bad the house was. But me and Orson earlier this week, we removed a upright piano from a grand piano from a person's house. And on the way out, we were dragging it out, and even the homeowner said, "No, go, just drag it out, And we're like, okay, we drag it out, and we mess up the parquet floor that you can buy anywhere. Just really, I think they even sell it at Home Depot. But we scratch up the parquet floor, we get out, we load it to the truck, and then he gets not happy. Now, I do have the live video, by the way, and I'll put it, I'm going to upload it today. I record the whole conversation between me and him and everything that went down. And tell us your experience on what happened, Orson, because this is hilarious.
No, yeah. I mean, you just gotta close your eyes, imagine you're walking into like an enchanted forest. That's how his front yard looked like, bushes everywhere. We walk in. This guy, he wasn't living in a good situation, you know. He had some issues going on. So first of all, we couldn't find the piano. We couldn't see it. That's how bad it was. We removed a whole bunch of stuff from it, and he was telling us, "You guys are just gonna junk it, right? You're not gonna keep it." He was telling us hit it with the sledgehammer, get the legs off. He was like, "Yeah, just drag that thing out, just do this, do that." And obviously, if we were picking up this piano from a really, really nice house from a great neighborhood, it looked like clean, we would take some precautions to make sure we don't damage anything. But whenever we just see trash everywhere, it's a bad situation, and the customer is telling us not to be careful, to just get it done. We got it done. We got the piano out of there. And did we happen to scratch his floor on the way out? Yeah, we did. Were there 100 other scratches on it? Yeah, there were.
Gum.
We got the
There
job
was
done.
gum on it.
Yeah, there was gum on it, and there were also some bugs, some creatures on it. But the size of the scratch was about the size of this, just a standard pen, just a standard pencil. That's the scratch. He hired us to remove a piano, removed the piano, and then he had the audacity to ask us for a discount. I thought we should have charged him hazmat. So I think he got a good deal.
And tell him, this is funny, Carson. You're gonna love this. So I'm arguing with the guy, and Orson's like loading this shit in the trailer. He's like, do 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 do, and here comes Orson, do 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 do. And what do you hear out of his mouth?
The guy's like, "Dude, obviously you've said 100 times my house looks like crap. You don't have to keep saying it. There's a scratch on my floor." And then Ricardo was like, "Hey, Orson, I'll meet you at the truck." And so I made a U-turn and I booked it. I went straight to my truck. I wanted nothing to do with that. Like 15 minutes later, Ricardo comes in the truck. He's like, "That guy's not going to pay us, man." But so he did. And he apologized.
Can you believe that? So he waited a day. He waited a whole day, 24 hours, and he sent me a text, and it said, "Hey, brother, just wanted to apologize for the way I treated you." And I said, "Me too." Right back at you, or something like that, really fast. And I was just totally blown away by that. But we're going to run through problems like this every once in a blue moon. They don't happen rarely, Orson, but they will happen. And this is one of those problems that we had. But I want to change the subject again, and I want to talk about Carson had a huge hoarder house situation. His first. Orson hasn't had one. Carson hasn't had one, but I wanted to kind of bring this up in this video right here. So why don't you set us up for it, brother? And then I'll show the video too of y'all entry. But why don't you set us up for what happened, Carson, and then we'll go from there, and then we'll get me and Orson's opinion about it, because we saw the pictures. We're like, what the hell? So go ahead.
Yeah, I saw it on Facebook.
Yeah. So, well, Wednesday, I am sitting at home. I'd done, I think like 2 jobs, and I'm sitting at home, and I'm ready to work. Right. And I'm like, man, I want to work. I want to work.
You were talking to me on the phone, Carson. You were talking to me on the phone. You clicked over.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I was ready, I was just complaining to you about how I wanted to go work. Right. And then I get a call from a customer, and he said, "Hey, we have we're out of state. We're a company that does hoarding cleanup. And so we're looking for a subcontractor to start subbing this work out to." And so he called me. I was the first out of the 3 that he had on the list to call, but I was the first one to pick up the phone. Right. So if I didn't pick up the phone, he'd probably called the second or third guy. And he said, "Hey, for this first one, we've already priced it. The customer's already ready. It just needs to be done at this point. And then, they have their system as far as, what they want to be paid out for it being subbed to me," which is totally fine. And so I get a hold of the customer. She sounds frantic over the phone. It's one of the family members of the person that was living at the place. And she's, just, whenever you're in these hoarder situations, it's very overwhelming. There's a lot of stuff. There's a lot to take in and digest. And so whenever you're talking to anyone for big jobs like this, and this goes same with bed bugs and things like that, being confident over the phone is what's most important. And so then we finally, get there first thing in the morning. I haven't even looked at it before I committed to doing the job. We just saw a picture of the front door. So this is actually our first time looking at the job. And yeah, it was a 1-bed, 1-bath apartment on the first floor. I don't know how much square footage the apartment is, but you know, think about a regular 1-bedroom, one bath size.
It was about 750. It was about 750.
Something like that, yeah. And here's the thing, this is what I learned with hoarder houses is with a junk removal, I'm looking at this going, okay, you know, we're gonna knock it out in one day and we're gonna be good. With all of the loose items and everything stacked up to your shoulders and your head, it's so much to be picking up and bringing out to the truck, right? And so I definitely underestimated that going into it as far as getting it done in one day. We had to go back a second day and it took a few hours to complete in the morning. We got about 75% of it done the first day. And on this one, I actually had a fellow junk removal service in my area help me on this. And so I think that's another thing where, you know, a lot of us look at junk removal companies in our area as competitors, but I'm working with mine, you know, and we work together. This isn't our first job that I've had him come out and help me with. So it was nice having him there because he has all of his equipment. He knows what to do going into it. He's going to be fast and efficient. It's not his first rodeo. So yeah, just talking about as far as the mess that we're looking at right now, the dog was never taken out. So there's dog feces all over the ground, you know, urination all over the ground, discoloration in the carpet. There's rodent feces all over the cardboard. There's cockroaches. I'm sure there were bed bugs in here. You can't really tell the difference whenever you have swarms of cockroaches all over everything mixed with what could be bed bugs.
Yeah.
There were spiders. There was a lot of spiders, a lot of webs on coming from the ceiling. And so the person that lived in this apartment had actually stopped living in the apartment in December. And we're in March right now. So it's been about 3 or 4 months. And the power has been out for 3 or 4 months. No power. And so it was all of the dairy, milk that he just threw in the floor has been sitting there for months. And there was a part, and I hate that I didn't, the camera was on time lapse whenever this happened, but I was shoveling up the kitchen stuff. And I was going, and I noticed in the corner of my eye that Mauricio, the guy that was doing it with me, he runs out. And I'm like, okay, he must have saw another mice or something that spooked him. I was like, I don't know. He's not the type to get, you know, like just run out. So I'm thinking, what did he? And then I see him out the back of that patio door, because we have it open, and he's yelling at me like, "You don't smell that? You don't smell that?" And I'm like, "Smell what?" And I turn over, and boom, like the worst smell I had. Whenever I was shoveling, I'd penetrated a gallon of milk.
Yeah.
That was spoiled months. And you think that the milk smells bad after 3 days or a week in your fridge? Imagine months. And I just busted that thing with the shovel. That was, and in that, like, it took us about 30 minutes to get reset after that smell. And I'm not the one to get, you know, really grossed out. I mean, I see a lot of jobs. I've done a lot. That moment, that was a tough one to get through. So yeah, I mean, it's a lot. You got to definitely make sure that you have a snow shovel and trash gallons.
Yeah, I think here comes one of your friends right here, and I want to talk about this really fast. Watch, here goes. You move this, and look at this buddy run.
Oh, there it is. We saw some of those earlier.
Yeah.
Hey,
So
I got a quick question. So what was I know you said that there was no power there for a while, so I'm guessing there was no air conditioning. How hot was it in there when you were working?
Well, it was cold outside, so, you know, like we're with Nashville weather, it was below room temperature, so it wasn't that bad. So whenever we started, we wanted to make sure that we could open up that patio door just to let some air flow through that patio door and the front door. So once we knocked it all the way through, then we opened up that door. It was a breeze from there as far as getting some airflow. But I'm telling you what, when the power is out, like you got to bring lights, you got to keep resetting up the lights. You know, it's
It's a
definitely
lot more work.
Who's pinging so much?
it's this group chat that we're all in.
Oh, yeah. I've
All right, I
seen
gotta
Rhino, like Green Rhino. What's up, Green Rhino? He's watching your video right now,
All right.
and he's talking about it too. Y'all say hi. Everybody say hi. Andrew, what's up, man? Andrew, what up? Alex, what up?
So yeah, and you know, it's just with these Hoarder, you know, and here's the thing too. On this job, you know, we used my box truck and we used his dump trailer. Being that this was in an apartment, we didn't really have the luxury of just dropping a dumpster because there were cars right in the, you know, everybody's going to park right in the front of the doorway. And so we knew that going into the situation that we weren't going to be able to just easily drop a dumpster. And so we just relied on our vehicles for it, and just paid the expenses, you know, out of using those. But I would definitely recommend if I had to do it again, I would probably work with the property manager the day before to see if we can get some spots open. But here's the thing, once they drop that dumpster, if it's not right at that doorway and you got to walk it across the parking lot, that's a lot of time. And so it's really not worth it to use a dumpster unless you have it right at the front of the apartment. Now with the house, of course, you can throw it in the backyard or the front yard.
Now, Carson,
use that though.
Carson. So, how many mice did you see and rats did you see that day?
I think it was about 3 total. They had
total.
ate the drywall from, I guess, I don't know how they got through, but they ate through the drywall and they just started. They lived in their. They made it their home for the past however long. So,
hey Orson, what do you think about that?
Those are some little numbers right there, bro.
Yeah, what I was expecting more with how much feed. I mean, there could have been more, but it was.
Yeah. Did they have you rip up the carpet? I'm noticing like right now, like looking at that video, that carpet looks disgusting. So I'm guessing they have to rip that out.
They're going to bring in, more than likely with a job like this, the apartment is probably going to be required to bring in, I think they're called like a remediation company. And so I think they would handle all of that as far as like they're going to be ripping out all these cabinets, all of the flooring, you know, basically making it a brand new apartment. Because I mean, just to get the smell out. I mean, I was like, are you sure you guys aren't going to just have to tear out the drywall with how bad it smells? Because here's the thing, you could smell the apartment from the parking lot before we even opened up that door. At the very beginning of the video, whenever me and Mauricio had the mask on, we smelled it going out of our car in the park. Like it was that, you know. And so I don't know what they're going to do. I'm sure that they're going to replace, they would have to replace pretty much everything.
Crazy that there's someone living above them. It's crazy that there's someone living above them.
Yeah. And all the neighbors, you know, you could tell that all of them were frustrated. They were extremely frustrated. And I asked them, I was like, you know, why wasn't this taken care of sooner? But I mean, technically nothing illegal was going on. You know, I'm sure that, you know, they could have escalated it to the city. I know that the city would get involved from stuff like this, but I think, I mean, it was, I told, you know, I was telling my wife, I was like, if I lived on like anywhere near this apartment, I would not be a happy resident. I'd be demanding to leave, demanding for something to happen because just the smell, like, you know, it was tough.
Yeah. So did the suits do a pretty good job? Those suits you were wearing? Did you feel like they did?
Yeah.
The job,
So the
like,
reason we wear the suits, and like, there's a guy who commented on Facebook. He was like, if you wear those suits, you have to have sealed eye protection, all these things. Look, at the end of the day, you don't know what's going to splatter, right? You start picking up this stuff. You don't know what juices can fall on your clothes. So we really wear the suits just to protect our clothes, right? Because, you know, if we penetrate a gallon of milk and it, you know, gets everywhere, or, you know, we get, you know, feces from a box that we pick up and it lands on us, we just don't want it landing on our clothes and stuff like that. But with this job, because everything was below our shoulder level, for the most part, eye protection wasn't really sealed eye protection wasn't really a thing we needed in a job like this.
So I'm going to go over really quick to the message board over here. We get a few questions. Andrew Thompson gave me $1.99. He said, Carson, did you have fun with that hoarder house? And of course, you can hear Carson already talking just by his tone. Marcus Trevino asked a great question. Junk Guys Rio Grande Valley asked, how did they contact you? Was it from Google, recommendations? You said they had a list of 3 different companies. Just wondering how they found you, Carson.
They found me through I'm not actually sure how they found me, because I asked him and he said that his partner found me. So I couldn't tell you, but I'm sure Google was more likely the answer. So
yeah. So me and Orson, we ran across a hot tub with some rats too, was what I was trying to say earlier. I said there was 20 rats. What did you say?
At least 50, bro. At least 50 rats.
Yeah, we had
it was the little ones. There were like 100 little ones, and then there were some flying ones.
Dude, we had a rat fly 5 to 6 feet. You know, right? 5 or 6. So Carson, did you have fun with that hoarder job? Andrew wants to know.
Sorry, a customer called me, so I just texted them. Fun? I don't know if we had fun, but we went to work. You know what I mean? It was definitely fun once it was over and I could make, content from it. But I mean, jobs like this, you gotta really, I think everybody's like, oh, I'd love to do a hoarder job. I'd love to do a hoarder job. Once you get in that environment and you're there, it's just one of those things where I would do it again for sure. But I wouldn't be looking forward to it.
So it was a pretty good paying job. It was a good, decent paying job. I want to get over that because I think that's a lot of people want to know that. They just haven't asked it, but I got that question asked a lot. When you sent this job over to me, you explained some things when you gave them the price. You explained that they're going to be reoccurring customers of yours.
Yeah.
So you wanted.
Yeah, I can.
Hold on, Carson. Hold on, Carson. And you are going to be reoccurring customers. They're going to pick up the phone and call you because you gave them a good price. But I also wanted to teach Orson a lesson here, how to price a hoarder house right. And when I looked at the pictures, my number and Orson's number were almost similar, wasn't it, Orson? I mean, we were right there at the top.
We were very close.
Yeah, and I said, okay, I bet he should price this at $4,500. And Orson, you said how much?
I said 4,000.
Yeah, so we were pretty close. And then Carson, why don't you tell them your thinking of how you price it, what was the actual price, but why you priced it like that? Because it's going to be surprising to a lot of people.
Yeah, and so from what I understand, when it comes to hoarder houses, there are 4 main levels. Okay, level 1 is just clutter, right? You can still walk around. It's more junk removal is what it needs. It just needs, maybe some organization and declutteration. The second level is where things start getting to where you're having to walk over items. It's just getting to, you could call it a hoarder situation at this point. Level 3 is going to be not only is it getting more of a challenge to walk over things, but now you have food containers, food just laying out and, maybe like paper towel, used items that are just laying around. Level 4 is where you really need, it's from floor to ceiling and it's just infested with, it's the most extreme version you could imagine. So, level 3 and up is what I would use this pricing structure for. But, in this particular instance, this is a 5-load job. So everybody asks, what do you charge per square foot? I don't do it that way because they're all going to be different. I look at it and I try, and I just know from experience how many loads it's going to take. This one, you're looking at 4 to 5 loads. Okay. Full of 15 cubic yard loads. It ended up being 5. And so I charge in the Nashville area $675 for a full load. If you just mark up your full load price by time and a half, so let's say if you charge 400 for a full load, then maybe you could do, 600. For me, it's 675. So I just do 1,000. So for this job, I would have estimated between 4 to 5,000. So call it 4,500. Did we get that price on this one? No, because this was this is one where we're working with a company that's going to be bringing us more work. And so we have we did a, with this being the first job with them, it was really just to show them that, we're going to show up when we say we're going to show up and get the job done, and they're not going to have any problems. And so now moving forward, they're allowing and trusting us to go to the properties and estimate it and sell it in person. And then, of course, give them a referral for sending over the lead. So,
right. A lot of people don't realize that we all price our jobs totally different. We're going to price them totally different. This would have been priced on my end at $4,500. I would have never pulled a trailer or a truck or anything. I would have contracted Orson, and Orson would have done this for fucking like $2,000. I swear to God, he would have killed himself doing it. But yeah, like we said, it just depends the area. It just depends where you're at. How desperate are you going to be doing this job? It's a lot of little small things that you have to consider. It's a lot of little small things. So, but the good thing is that Carson, they talked to you and they said they appreciated you. You told me that they're going to use you on another job that they got coming up in the next few months. And I'm like, oh, that's great. So he's really kind of backdooring the situation. Kind of worked out for him. Do you imagine if you would have priced it at $4,500, they might have not used you next time? You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But you gave them such a good price that they will use you, and now you're going to see a residual income coming from that.
Yeah,
okay?
and here's the thing: what a lot of people what they fail to remember. Whenever you get a lead from someone and they're basically subbing you or referring you for the job, and they're a company that is they're trying to establish a relationship with you. The first lead they send you, you need to be first class, right? You need to land the job at whatever price it takes, and you need to make sure that you do it. You need to make sure that you are the one updating them. They shouldn't have to reach out to you. So the whole time this is happening, I'm reaching out to the people that had given me this opportunity, and I'm letting them know, hey, we just got started today. We're here at the property. Hey, we just got the deposit from the customer. Hey, and I'm consistently letting them know when milestones are being accomplished on this job. And so nurturing that relationship, I think if you were to learn anything about this is, with these big jobs, a lot of the bigger jobs come from a big company. And Ricardo, that sometimes if it comes to evictions, if it comes to, jobs like these, or jobs that are just, warehouse style jobs, it's typically a bigger company, and you want to make sure that just that first job, that's not where we're not here to make money on this. We're here to make money over time with the relationship. So
Andrew Thompson asked a question. He said he gave me $1.99 again for me to answer this question. Thank you, Andrew. I will use your $1.99 on absolutely nothing, because you can't buy nothing with $1.99. But thank you, Andrew. Why would you subcontract the job, Ricardo? First of all, Andrew, I saw this. Now you heard my boy Carson talking about how it took him 2 days. This job would have taken me about 2 hours to complete with like 8 motherfuckers. You know what I mean? That's how I look at it. I'm moving so fast. And I think, Orson, you already saw how I move from job to job so quick that these jobs got to get done in 1 day or a couple of hours. And this would have been an 8-man job. I would have got him in there. I would have never pulled the truck. I would have never, yes, it is $3.98. You're right. I would have never pulled a truck. I would have never brought my own vehicle. I would have just been there to bag stuff up, and that's it. I would have paid everybody $100. I would have spent the whole total for a job. If I priced it at $4,500, let's just give a round number of $5,000. I would have spent at least $1,800 to $1,500 to get this job done, and paid other people to do it for me, but me be there at the same time. And I would have easily walked away with at least, I guess, $3,200. That's pretty good money, man, for not doing absolutely shit. You know what I mean? Absolutely nothing. Hey, by the way, is that cranberries? What is that in there? Was that cranberries with?
No,
what's
it's one of the. It's just a
Like beets.
uh.
It looks like
Oh,
beets.
no.
Oh, it's a
Or
plastic
like
net.
radishes.
Yeah, it's like a plastic like liner thing.
Yeah, that's what it was. I was like, what is
like
that?
the thing that you put in your shower or bathtub,
Yeah.
right? Like that you step on, kind of.
Oh, look at it.
Oh,
I
that's
was like,
disgusting.
what is this person?
I know it's hard to
nasty?
tell with the cockroach and rat stuff all over it, but
Hey, so speaking of subcontracting, Carson, I noticed you said that you use another junk removal company to do this. And Ricardo, I know you also use subcontract to other junk removal companies. Is there a reason you guys do that and not just hire just some guy off the street?
do you want to?
I like to subcontract junk removal companies, Orson, because you're going to notice something about junk. Okay, so you can go to the Home Depot and you can pick up 4 or 5 Mexican. Let's say 5 Mexican. You can go to Home Depot, pick up 5 Mexican, 5 black guys, 5 white guys, whatever you want to do. You go to Home Depot, pick up these 5 guys, and then you tell them that they're going to help you clean out a house. But then you get 5 junk removal owners to clean out a house, and I guarantee it, these junk removal owners know exactly what they're doing instead of these 5 guys at Home Depot. These guys at Home Depot might put up the sheetrock and paint it for you, but the guys that you want are the guys that really are hustling and are in this business. They know what needs to be done, and I would subcontract them any day. But the reason I do that, Orson, is because, of course, I only work by myself. That's the first reason. Second thing is I have found a way to make good money with absolutely doing nothing at all except getting the job. If someone said, hey, you have a choice. You can finish this $5,000 job by yourself, figure it out, or you can make $3,000 absolutely free, not having to do much. And that's what I do. That's what I contract jobs. I mean, think about contracting, been around forever. People contract home, people contract pools, people contract a lot of stuff, but no, not a lot of people contract junk removal jobs. And that's why I said that I would have done this job, which took Carson 2 days. I would have done it with 8 guys in 2 hours. And, we would have killed our ass in that motherfucker. That thing would have been done. So when Carson told me, I got pissed when Carson told me, he goes, oh, we have to go back tomorrow. I'm like, no, what? No, you're not. Finish that bitch today. And actually, you went and made money somewhere else, Carson, didn't you?
Yeah, well, we ended up having to call an audible and finish it up because both of our vehicles were full. And so we had to leave. Well, I ended up having 3 customers contact me. So I went and took care of them. And plus we just needed a break it was, again, with this being our first one, I needed a break out of that environment. I didn't want to go back to it. And so just that day, at least I wanted, some time away from it. And then also too, I kind of wanted Keaton to see it and check out, because I wanted him to have the experience too of what it's like. So that way, the next time we do one, he's already mentally prepared and I'm mentally prepared going into it. So I wanted to show Keaton in person and we just knocked it out the next morning.
That's awesome. You made money. This is great. We were talking about making money on this job. So what did you, Carson, what did you finish out the week at? That's what I think we all want to know. What did you finish the whole week? Because I remember somebody crying like a little bitch on, I think it was Tuesday. Oh, Ricardo, all I got is this small little job today. Oh, man, I don't know, bro. What do I have to do? Blah, 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 blah. Yada, yada, yada. And then what happened after that Tuesday? You went on a roll.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know you did. So tell everybody what you made this week.
I don't have the final numbers in front of me because with
estimate.
Estimated we finished the week in between 9,000 to 11,000.
Damn.
It's been a great week. Look, if we can keep doing weeks like this, we're gonna be great. So, but again, I did like 16. It was like 10 hours, 16, 12, 16. It's not. Again, if you want that type of money, there's a cost to it. You don't just get to work, 40 hours and think that you're going to put, now you can pull in that money and work 40 hours, but are you going to keep, the majority of it back into the company? Probably not, because you've had to use people to help, go through those jobs. So.
Yeah. And Orson, this was your first week doing junk removal.
First week. Full time,
first week, and your experience in it. So you closed out the day with like a the week at $3,300 estimated, $3,300 for the whole week. You said
in sales. I have the exact number. I closed out at $3,292.
$3,300 for sales, and then how much were your expenses to the week?
A little bit under $700. I have $681 in expenses, and I will say that number could have been lower. I had more experience because I didn't know how the dumps work, labor, things like that. I wouldn't have spent nearly as much had I been more experienced.
Yeah, and then you profited how much this week?
$2,600 in 1 week. But I will say real quick, because I noticed that this happens all the time, and Carson kind of touched on it real quick. This was probably an 80-hour week for me. And so did I make $2,600 in a week? Yeah. But I worked 7 days. I start my days at 5 a.m. I come home at 8. So I don't want you guys to be watching this and think, oh my God, I can make $2,600 my first week working. No, unless you put in 80 hours, I mean, I don't know. I'm dividing that. People know that.
That's $32 an hour.
Yeah, that's still way more than I would be making at McDonald's.
Yeah, me too. Way more.
Yeah.
Okay, I think it went really good. Okay, so wait, someone asked a question. Danwell Warren says, so when you get these big jobs and they pay you $5,000, do you have the client send you the money or to tie the subcontract? Danwell,
I think you wanted to say to the subcontractors.
What?
I think he meant to say, do you have the client send you the money or to the subcontractor? So like if he subcontract me, pay me or you?
Yeah, no, I'll answer this. No, Danwell, Mr. Warren, they pay me and I pay the subcontractors, and that's how it works. I get the money. I started the job. I got the job. I pay out the money and I get paid. That's how I do it.
And so let me ask you this, Ricardo. Let's say you do a storage unit and you bring Orson with you and you tell the customer, hey, customer, it's going to be $2,000 and they don't pay you. What do you do with Orson? Like you subcontracted Orson for that storage unit. How, do you pay Orson?
I pay Orson.
So just know when you guys take these big jobs, there's a responsibility to make sure that even if someone screws you over at the top of the line, you find a way to take care of your people, because at the end of the day, Orson's going to go to the next job with Ricardo, the next one, and the next one. And if Orson is a good guy, he'll, like, let's say you owe Orson $1,000, he'll be like, hey, Ricardo, just pay for my expenses on this job if you can. That would be a good thing for Orson to do as far as a sub, but and there's no rules to this, but it's just trying to do what's right. So
right. This incident happened, and I think I talked to you, Carson, about it. The big job that I had in Arlington, it's been 40 days, and I finally got the check just a couple of days ago. I paid out about $2,700 to make a lot of money, and that $2,700 is not in my pocket. As a matter of fact, the checks, Orson, I showed you the check. The check is still in my bag. You know what I mean? And it's still sitting in the bag. But I'm out $2,700 because that's what I paid to make the $18,000 off that job. And it was just, sometimes you think about it, you're like, fuck, these people are going to pay me, man? So, and you hate it when it's a commercial job because it's net 30, net 45 terms. Andrew Thompson asked a question. He says, when you moving to LA and launching truck with me? Anybody? Andrew, who are you asking that to? I have no idea. Moving forward, in a few years, Carson is going to be on a stage somewhere speaking about how to become a millionaire. Oh my God, this motherfucker. Nobody ever says that about me. Nobody.
You guys should have seen these two at the summit, man. Like, bro, everyone's attention was towards those two. you guys didn't have a single person not paying attention. They're like, y'all are just captivating. You know how to talk.
So Andrew says it was towards me. He says, when you're moving to LA and launching truck with me, when am I moving to LA, man? I'm scared of getting mugged by a fucking damn homeless dude, bro. I love Texas. I love me Texas. I love Texas people. I love Texas food. LA tacos. That's your choice. Tacos on every corner. I'd have so much diarrhea, bro. Oh my God. Diarrhea tacos for weeks, bro. No way. Well, guys, I appreciate y'all coming on board. I know it was such a short notice. It was an exciting week. That's why I wanted to get you. Carson, you started off really slow, and then you just kicked off into the $9,000 realm. Orson, your first week doing junk removal, and Orson is going to be helping me out. Orson is going to be helping me out a lot in the next few weeks because now that Jamon's got too busy for me and he doesn't want to help me out at all. What's this? I'm getting House Call Pro now. What the hell's that?
Because he didn't say he wanted me in LA and he's launching his new service. Screw your service, bro. I'm getting House Call Pro. Okay.
But fuck,
I'm just kidding, Andrew. I'm just kidding.
I know.
Autopilot for life, bro.
Well, I was about to get on you about that one.
Nah, bro. Send me a banner for the background. I can have a autopilot banner behind me.
Yeah. So that's the thing that people need to realize, that we all have our own methods of doing junk removal, and we're all been successful. But look at Orson, 1 week into the job, being successful, and you're gonna help me out, Orson. You're gonna be my thoroughbred. What do you call it? The thoroughbred, is that what it is, Carson?
I thought we were calling me an eaglet.
Oh yeah, eaglet. Yeah. By the way, Carson, do you know anything about eagles? So I'm the eagle, the American eagle, the big one, the big motherfucker that you can't shoot because you'll get arrested. And then when he has little eagles, what are they called? You know what? Someone Google that really fast because I'm on this thing.
I'm pretty
Google
sure it's
I'll
eaglet.
while you're
commented
Googling
that
that,
earlier.
you know what happened my first week? You know how much money I made in my first week?
What?
How much?
0. You want to know why? Because I started off with a truck. It was a brand new truck I got off the lot. And I'm using it for junk removal, of course. I bought it for junk removal. And I'm on the way to the first job, and a bald eagle out of nowhere, right in the front of the windshield. Nashville, Tennessee. I'll show you the pictures of the truck after this. Bald eagle out of nowhere. Out of nowhere. I've never seen a bald eagle in my life. I had to call the customer and tell them that, and they were like, they thought I was messing with them, but then I showed them the picture, and they were like, "Oh, I'm so sorry.
That's great.
We'll use someone else."
I will say too that the only reason I put the numbers I did is because of Ricardo. I'll say I'm pretty sure if I had just done this on my own, I might have hit 1,000, 1,200, but I would have not been anywhere close to the 26.
Wow. Hey, Danwell, Mr. Warren wants to know, what was the name of that item around your neck, brother? The magnetic.
Who are they talking to? Me? Oh, I didn't know that you had that. Do I have that on right now? I don't think so. It's just kind of like a magnetic mount for your GoPro. Let me find it real quick. Let me show you.
It's pretty tough. Did you see this, Carson?
I like it, bro.
I saw him wearing a camera, but I didn't know how he was wearing it.
Dude, watch this shit.
Yeah, it's really cool, bro. It's really, really cool.
Hey, wait a minute. How's he talking in the other room? Hey, Orson, how are you talking when you're in the other room?
It's magic, bro. Trade secrets. They're called Airpods. I just have my headphones.
Oh shit!
Oh yeah, look. So it's just this little necklace right here. They make chest mounts, but I think that they look real tacky. And then for your GoPro, shout out to two bald guys for showing me this thing. It's just a GoPro 11 Pro. It comes with this magnetic mount. You just attach it, and then it just attaches right here to the necklace. So I can just kind of put this on, super discreet, and just kind of wear it.
But he keeps the necklace underneath his shirt.
Yeah, I put the necklace underneath my shirt. So for example, this way. And that's it. And that's how I record all my videos hands-free.
When I saw
this, the great thing too about this is that it attaches to anything that's magnetic. So like say I got like a screwdriver, I can attach it like that to the screwdriver. So attach it to the customers' homes, you know, they usually always got somewhere metal, so I'll just attach it.
Yeah, that's pretty tough, dude. I like that. That's tough. I was like, damn it, I got to get one. Yeah. I'm gonna order one now. I don't know whether
Well,
order
I bought
that.
my camera and then I saw Andrew's and I was like, oh man.
Shit.
The good thing about Andrews is that it follows you, but I just don't think it's as rugged. I mean, it's like a stick, whereas this thing, it's super small, super discreet. You just set it down.
I'm not gonna lie to you.
I
I
mean-
like Andrews. Andrews' camera's badass, dude. It's tall.
It's cool that it follows you. That part was awesome. But
Yeah, I
$700.
want one of those, dude. But man, I went to the store to see one. $649 is not my ball game there, bro. I just don't see
Hey, real
that.
quick, hey, if DJI is watching, sponsor us. Sponsor Drunk Guys. Let's get
Yeah.
a nice little sponsorship.
Yeah,
I
look
think if
at-
anyone were to sponsor you guys, bro, a camera sponsor would be awesome. Look at that, bro. Hook me up. I got a GoPro. I will gladly switch. I will say this thing is a piece of
Look,
crap.
DJI.
Hey, look at
for
that.
all
He's got a
y'all,
lot of them.
all y'all DJI people. DJI. Ricardo likes DJI.
You guys got a sponsor. Sponsor Ricardo with
Yeah.
Drunk Guys.
Come on, man. Come on, DJI.
DJI, the official camera sponsor of Drunk Guys, DFW.
Where's the logo?
Gotta manifest it.
I spend too much money with DJI, man. Fuck. All right, guys.
But it's worth it. I will say for sure, it's worth the investment.
There you go. You heard it from Orson right there. Orson, Carson, I appreciate y'all coming on board. Thank you for spending time on the channel with me. And hopefully we all get to see each other again soon and work all together. Your volume's out. Okay. Anyway, I will talk to y'all later, guys. Carson.
Yeah, thank you.
Guys, DFW net out. Orson.
Thank you guys. Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.
So check out the full video on the Junk Guys Nashville YouTube channel. Post a bunch of videos of our jobs on the Junk Guys Nashville YouTube channel. And you can also check out our website, junkguysnashville.com, where we have all of our services and videos and content. So hopefully we'll be sending more Hoarder videos.
Yeah, and definitely, guys, don't forget, I'm going to put the video where I got mad at the guy and we went back and forth. I'm going to be putting that up pretty soon. It's ready to go right now. All I got to do is publish it, and it'll be up in about 30-40 minutes, okay? So stay tuned for that one. Do not give me grief about it because I'm not going to read your shit anyway. I'll talk to y'all later, guys. Good night. See you guys.
Peace.
Peace. Motherfucker.